Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. Ladies and gentlemen, earlier today I put out a video that was in a way kind of good news because we're going to have somewhat of a deflationary event going on with a lot of stuff. Now, most of the stuff that is going to be going down in price, I believe, will not bring too much value to our lives, but there may be some good deals on things that we can use to prepare for the future. So take advantage of that. But that doesn't mean that the party has begun. That doesn't mean that it's over. The good times are back again. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not trying to bring you doom and gloom, but I'm trying to ground you. All right, because if you watched my previous video, there is some good news. However, in that video, I also explained that the inflationary prices of things that we need to live, like energy, like food, like healthcare, all of those things, gasoline, heating fuel for your home, it's still going to continue to go up. So take advantage of those low prices on the stuff that's been sitting out on barges for the last year or so, and try to get things that you know you're going to need in the future at a discount. But remember that we are still headed toward a food crisis. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's just a fact. And one of my very favorite authors, Michael Snyder, he wrote this short article here that really woke me up. So if you all remember when all of these plant fires, food processing plant fires started in the beginning of the year, I did a little bit of research and I was like, well, you know what? Last year we had about 20 something, 30 something plant fires altogether. But now it's really starting to become very curious to me, because now we are at almost 100 and it's not even halfway through the year. We're not even through June and we're at almost 100 plant fires, incidents, whatever, but that affects our food production here in the United States. And some of it has been man-made, some of it has been arson, some of it has been natural and stuff like that. But the fact remains is that no matter how it happened, all right, ladies and gentlemen, no matter how it happened, what is the outcome? What will be the outcome if we continue to see our processing plants being put offline? And not only food processing plants, but plants that process our energy as well. You know that we had a place in, Texas, I believe, that exports natural gas, liquefied natural gas, that is now offline for the rest of this year. All of these things are going to have an effect, ladies and gentlemen, more so on what we pay for those things that we need to live. But going on into next year, I believe that there will be some scarcity. So let's go ahead and see what Mr. Snyder has to say. He says that more major disasters hit U.S. food production. Ladies and gentlemen, are you prepared for what's coming? If you're not prepared, why are you not preparing? Are you still in the cognitive dissonance state of being that allows you to think that all of these things can happen and that it will not affect your standard of living? Or are you still in the stage of normalcy that allows you to think that if things do go south, that the government will be there to help you? Well, ladies and gentlemen, neither of those, I believe. And it says here that unfortunately, most of the population still does not grasp what is happening. And I can attest to that, ladies and gentlemen. I'm telling you, I don't know how many videos I put out saying, get yourselves a small solar generator, or get yourselves a small generator, gasoline generator. Go get a small air conditioner that you can put in one small room in your house and run with your gas generator. That way, if you find yourself in one of these cities that is having a heat wave, right, and having blackouts at the same time, that you can go ahead and hook up that small air conditioner to your window in a small room and at least be able to stay cool. Unfortunately, most of the population still doesn't grasp what is happening. Most people simply assume that everything will turn out okay somehow. Meanwhile, farmers are telling us as loudly as they can that everything will most definitely not be okay. These are the people that grow our food. We probably ought to listen to them. In my entire lifetime, he says, I have never seen America's farmers this alarmed about what is ahead. And of course, everything that we are currently witnessing in the U.S. and around the globe is setting the stage for the sort of historic famines that I have been relentlessly warning my readers about. And he has. Like I said, Michael Snyder is one of my favorite authors. Everything that he writes is pure, ladies and gentlemen. In my opinion, that is. I wish that I knew a way to get through to the millions upon millions of apathetic people out there that don't seem to care that a major food crisis is coming, because the suffering that we are going to witness all over the world will be off the charts. I've been talking about this for years now. And unfortunately, it's coming to be. And, I've been talking about it for years, right? And mainly I've been talking about being prepared for anything, right? But this is what we have to be preparing for the most. Is we are going to have a reduction in calories worldwide. And it will affect everyone. If you're sitting here in the United States of America, if you're sitting in Canada, if you're sitting in a Western world, and you think that it won't affect you just because in your lifetime, every time that you've seen famine, it's been in a third world country, then you better wake up, ladies and gentlemen, because this is going to affect everyone. We may not see starvation in the form of scarcity because there's just no food whatsoever. That's probably going to happen more in developing nations. Right? But what we will see is we will see people, as they are now, being priced out of the food market. Right? We've had people being priced out of the food market for years now, meaning that they've had to buy cheaper and cheaper and cheaper foods, lower quality foods, because that's all that they can afford. What happens when they can't afford those low quality foods anymore because their wages are not keeping up with inflation? They're going to go to food banks. They're going to go to churches. Well, what happens when those institutions run out of food as well? Many seem to believe that we are going to be immune from the coming shortages because we live in the United States. Unfortunately, food production in the United States continues to be hit by one major disaster or another. This week, a historic June heat wave absolutely baked the center of the country. And we were talking about this here. I was talking about this a couple of weeks ago, or a week and a half ago, where I said, you have to get this now. Get it now while it's still available. Go get a generator. Learn how to hook that generator up to your house, or at least up to your central air conditioning system. It's possible. You can do it. I'm not an electrician and I can do it. All right, but do your own research and figure out how to do this, ladies and gentlemen, because if it's a matter of life and death, wouldn't you rather take a risk than to just sit there and swelter in the heat until you have heat stroke? On Monday night into Tuesday, 125 million people, a third of the population of the United States, actually a little more than a third, were under heat alerts across much of the central and eastern states. Cities such as Tulsa, Memphis, St. Louis, Minneapolis, Cincinnati, Raleigh, Charlotte were all under heat warnings. Chicago residents on Monday, listen to this, fled to their basements and nearby shelters when a surprise tornado ripped through the city as it experienced 100-degree Fahrenheit weather for the first time in a decade. You have to have a plan. Needless to say, this sort of weather was not welcomed by farmers in our agricultural heartland. Records were shattered all over the nation, and I was particularly surprised to see a high temperature of 108 degrees in North Platte, Nebraska. The mercury in North Platte, Nebraska hit 108 degrees, breaking the record set in 1952. St. Louis's record of 98 degrees from the same year was also broken on Monday, with temperatures reaching 100 degrees. Yes, what we are witnessing is definitely unusual, and summer has not even started yet, ladies and gentlemen. He says that it's been reported that extreme heat was responsible for at least 2,000 cattle deaths in Kansas alone. I've heard different numbers on this. I've heard up to 10,000 or so, but no matter what, 2,000, even if that's the low side, is still an extreme large amount of meat that is now going to go to dogs and probably cats instead of human beings. The death add pain to the U.S. cattle industry as producers have reduced herds due to drought and grapple with feed costs that climbed as Russia's invasion on Ukraine tightened global grain supplies. He says that the Kansas Department of Health and Environment knew of at least 2,000 cattle deaths due to high temperature and humidity as of Tuesday. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this here is a leading indicator. What does that mean? That means that if they lost this many cattle, is the price of beef going to go up tomorrow? More than likely not. But that's 2,000 to 10,000 cattle that will be out of the marketplace come sometime next year when they would have made it to market. He says that the current heat wave blazing through Kansas feedlots has killed an estimated 10,000 head of cattle. And here's another one. It's not just about heat. It's not just about drought. It's not just about cold. It's about all of these things happening at the same time, but in different places. We've talked about this before, where we're entering into a period where we're going to have erratic weather events of all different types in different places all at once. And here he says that Yellowstone National Park could be closed indefinitely as devastated flooding continues to ravage the town's roads and bridges along the Yellowstone River. And I'm sure that you all heard about the Yellowstone National Park being flooded, but what I haven't really heard too many people talking about are the crops in that area that are grown. How did it affect the crops that are being grown in that area? I haven't heard too many people talk about that, ladies and gentlemen. It would be difficult to overstate the devastation this flooding caused. For many ranchers and farmers, things will never be the same after this. Hear that? On top of everything else, another mysterious fire just happened. This time it was a pizza plant in Wisconsin that totally burned to the ground. Now, be it pizza or not, ladies and gentlemen, it's calories. And I just want to go ahead and show you here. I'll end it off with this. I want to show you how many plants, food processing plants, have been affected this year. Now, like I said, in the beginning of this year, I wasn't really thinking too much about it because I was like, well, last year we had about 20 or 30 or something like that food plants that were on fire, that this happened or that happened. But look at this, ladies and gentlemen. February 28th, we'd already had 23 incidences. And now we bring it all the way, incredible. As of the 13th of June, fire breaks out at processing plant west of Waupaca County, Wisconsin. And that's not accounting for the pizza plant that burnt down. So we're at 98 instances where one or another, right? Either a food processing plant or a plant that warehouse food or something like that has been affected by one thing or another, be it natural, be it arson, whatever it is. But the fact of the matter is that it doesn't matter how it's affected, what happened to it. What matters is that it's going to be offline and out of service in order to feed the people that normally fed. And like I said, it's calories. It's calories, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this, 5:29, a fire Saturday night destroyed a poultry building at Forceman Farms. 6/2, June 2nd, 30,000 ducks destroyed at duck farm. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you're prepping, okay? Like I said, this is just a video to bring you back to reality because, yes, things are going to be going down in price, but mainly things that don't bring too much value to your life. And if you're able to find some of those things that could bring value to your life in the future, meaning that you can use it in the future or that you can use it right now at a great discount, man, take advantage of it. Take advantage of it because, in my honest opinion, I think that we're going to see a glut of stuff on the shelves probably for the next 6 months to a year. Because remember, we probably have about 6 months to a year worth of stuff that we were waiting to bring into the stores. And now they're coming in. But people are broke now. A lot of people are broke. They don't have the money to buy that stuff even at a discount. So if you have the opportunity, go ahead and take advantage of it and keep on prepping because we are going to go into a pretty good food shortage next year. I believe that next year is when we start seeing scarcity, meaning that we will start seeing less calories to be able to feed everyone around the world, less calories compared to what we produced last year or this year. Having said that, I hope you have a great day. Listen, have a very happy Father's Day tomorrow. I hope you all know by now that I'm not having a live stream tomorrow on Father's Day. I actually have somewhere to go. I'm going to spend a little bit of time with a friend and enjoy our families together. All right, having said that, have a great day, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for all the support. God bless every one of you. Remember to be good to each other. When good people do good things happen. Remember to reach one, teach one, and repeat. If we all did this, the world would be a better place, and you know that it will be a better place. Many blessings to all of you and your families. I'm Alaska Prepper. I'm out.